What's interesting about this situation here is once I get the camera properly positioned. Okay, so if I sit back, okay. All right. What's interesting about this present situation is that a reconfiguration has occurred with the camera that is at my workstation. So you are looking at me from the actual first primary webcam that's at my workstation. But it's not going into the, if you will, broadcast computer or the main computer, PAL, whatever. It's going from the webcam through an on-the-go cable to my tablet. And you are looking at me now because we are using the software in the tablet, the webcam software, is RTSP serving. So it's serving it through an RTSP protocol, and I have got that into the browser. Of course, it's a browser thing. And so in OBS, you are looking at a browser capture inside OBS. What's interesting about all that is that it opens up, first of all, the tablet is older. I've said this before, and it is incapable of switching cameras like some other modern devices might be able to do that. You plug in an external camera, you should be able to choose which camera, right? If the Android or device is configured or able to be configured as such to be able to select the video source, or the software being used can select the video source. By default, the older tablet, Samsung tablet, is not capable, apparently, of changing that video source. So, using the software, I circumvent that. So, this is the software running inside the Android tablet, which solves everything. And, thank God for whoever came up with this stuff, because if it wasn't for that, well, none of this would have been possible, right? None of this wargaming capturing video stuff would be possible. Excuse me, I don't know. I've got like alien intervention going on in my eye. I have no idea, okay, what it is. Probably puppy fur. Because we've just got too many damn puppies. Of interesting note also is that this is interesting actually. There's two cameras here, right? There's the camera behind me, well, the chair. And when I turn around, you'll see me again. This camera, this one, where is it? This one here will show the sign above, and the sign above will show me looking at the war game table. That's because there's a camera over there, behind me. All right, so that's where we're at. And the other thing that we've done is we have implemented a vastly simpler BattleTech Hex Command NOVA variation, if you will. Why we did that was because when we looked at our own design for the rostering, for the combat calculation and combat recording, because these machines are not simple tanks. Well, we've now kind of made them simple tanks. We've given them just one value for combat, and value for defense, and a value for movement and jumping. That all stays the same. But the way, and here's where the rub is. We've simplified it to the point that it's supposed to be beer and pretzels. You can be like 5 years old and play this game. That's the idea. Well, 10 years old. Because there's the need for roster keeping can still be there. You can still, put on the mark where you need to have the recorded hit on the mech card, which is what you see on the table. These little paper things being held up by little plastic 3D printed stands. Those are the cards. Those are the roster cards for the mechs. And so this new roster layout is just vastly simpler. We don't care about the number of weapons on a platform, a mech. It just has a value. So, for instance, the Locust down here, close to the bottom right-hand corner of the map, he's on the hill. That Locust has got in his wings, right, left and right, shoulders, medium laser, and then a machine gun. And then in the nose, he's got a medium laser, right? I think. Is that a medium laser or a heavy laser? I think it might be a heavy laser. Maybe. Anyway, doesn't matter anymore. Well, it kind of does and kind of doesn't. It's 3 medium lasers. We'll call them just 3. So there's a value of 3. And that's the number of hits that it can cause. And the other thing that we did was forget about the ranges. Why? Because the table is 4x3. And in this scale, that is almost the extreme range of all weapons. So all weapons are they're in range. Very close, maybe within 1 or 2 bands of hex. So, we normally play with a hex band of 4 hexes. Well, if the map itself is 21 hexes, that's within like 6 or 7, maybe 5 hexes of normal extreme range of every weapon that there is. Now, there's also talk about the fact that the lasers have an unlimited range. I beg to differ, because atmospheric disturbances are going to cause that laser to lose effectiveness. And so I think that we should obey some kind of maximum range. But that being said, the table is the range. If you're on the table, it's in range. Same with the rockets, except for the short rockets, right? The so-called SRMs. Those are different. They're heavier. The range is shorter. And what that means is, it's not that the propellant is less, but actually it may be. Because the intention of the SRMs is a heavy warhead, a heavy projectile hitting effect. So therefore the LRMs, which are medium weight rockets, call them 50 millimeter, right? Or 60 or something like that. Anyway, in packs of various sizes, these LRMs going right, multiple launch rocket system, MLRS. But the short range SRMs are just little smaller packs of heavier rockets, and they'll just go out a shorter range. So we do want to count that range for the SRMs, which is 12. In other words, 3 bands: automatic, color, code, and color, and there's 4 bands. But the truth be told, when it comes to, and the only reason I say that is because it makes it clear that we're still working in, hypothetically, before the simplistic combat system, right? We were working in range bands. But the missiles and rockets and so on, they didn't obey that, because we treat that as artillery. Don't even count the range. It's in range, period. Well, now we've taken that, and that's why I'm saying this, is because of the fact we've taken that philosophy and said, okay, everything's in range. Don't even bother counting. Really? Yeah. Just put your mech out there, walk around, and shoot. Okay, so you don't have to count ranges anymore. All right, then. So there are a couple of nuances about that kind of a simplicity. And we'll explore those as we continue, monitoring or recording this event. What's important to note also is that what does armor, remember, I don't even remember if I posted that video, but I did a video discussing, what is armor? What is the ramifications, implications? What's the point of armor, right? In a world of energy weapons, what is armor? Well, in all aspects, armor is a deflective capability to keep whatever is hitting it from doing damage. That's what armor is. Whether it's sloped or straight up, it doesn't matter. It's just deflective capability. It's a deflective thing. So, every vehicle now has an armor so-called deflective capability. What's that mean? Saving roll. Simple. A heavy mech is going to have like 5 saving rolls, right? It can deflect 5 points or hits, but it's not automatic. You have to die roll, right? Because we can't just say, oh, it deflects 5 things. Well, that's kind of, okay, you'll always deflect 5 things. You'll never hit the armor. You'll never damage the armor. Well, no. So you see, that doesn't work. You have to be able to damage the armor over time. Well, how much time? Right? There's that fudging thing again. Don't really know, so we just allow it to happen from the get-go. So, when you hit a target, you will roll for location, armor, movement, system management, combat value, right? Remember, armor's now called, deflection or defense, but deflection. All right. So if you hit a deflection category, that's going to chink. You record that. Take off a piece of armor. Every time you hit, it's going to take off a point of armor. But you still have those deflection die rolls, the saving die rolls. It's just that the more armor you begin to lose, the fewer of those saving rolls you have. So that is the point. In other words, let's see, a mech fires and it gets a saving, or it gets a system management hit, and the target goes, oh no, not a system management. What could happen? The turret might jam. The communications may be out. Oh no, wait, you didn't roll the savings yet. How many points do you have in that deflection? How much deflection points do you have in that mech? Oh, I have like 3. Okay, well, 3 points were fired on you, so now just so happens you have 3 deflection points. So roll 3 saving throws. Well, what do I have to get? Usually it's a red, not a star, but just 2. We call it code, as you know. So automatic, color, code, and color, blah blah blah. So it's color is blue, code is red, and C, right? Code and color is a star on a red field. So that's why it's different. Hypothetically, that's the way it works. All right, so that is that. And yeah, up in the top right-hand corner, you see those 2 wasps. They're in green, printed them in green. None of these mechs are really painted yet. As a matter of fact, sometimes I'm not even sure I want to paint them. But at any rate, yeah, those 2 wasps up there are firing diagonally to the Valkyrie that's in the hill center left. He should have his little sign out there. Maybe I'll put it out there. And here I'll show you how this is going to work. When you turn around, now you can see me here. Where's my Valkyrie? There he is. All right. So this is the Valkyrie. Oh, that's the Stinger. I don't think I have a Stinger label. So I don't have a Stinger label, but I need to put one out there, so I'll do that now. And I'll probably be able to show you how that happens. If the printer is functioning, which I think it is. So I have this large label printer. I can't show you, of course, because the camera's occupied. But I'm going to print that big label, and let's do that. That is called, what's that called? That app? Yeah, P-Touch. All right, so let's do big letters. Stinger. I'll show you how big does it let me print it. Well, it's actually I don't have to write the whole word. I use an acronym, so for Stinger we're just gonna STNG, STNGR, because then we can make it really huge. And why do we do this? Because on the game table, right, you can see it, we need those labels there. Why don't we just have a camera close up? Because we only have so many cameras. All right, let's see how that prints. Right? It's pretty cool, right? And then so I don't even really need to laminate that. It's a nice label, and so that's what we'll do. We'll stick it on there. Actually, you know what? We'll leave it like that. I don't even bother sticking it on a piece of anything. Just put it on the table. So let me go back to watch myself do this. All right, so I'm going to turn around, put it on the table. Stinger. And Locust. Loki. Might as well keep going, right? I need more labels. Locust. And then Hatchet Man. This is actually kind of cool, right? It's kind of neat. It's really, really convenient. So there's your Hatchet. Here's your Locust. Jenner's already out there. I need two. The Wasp's already out there. All right, so that just does that. Now we should probably save this. Mech labels, and put it on the desktop. All right, that's pretty cool. I like it when stuff works. All right, so we'll come back and we'll show more of how this stuff is supposed to work.